So welcome back to the channel then, and welcome back to my next absolutely roasting hot in session video. Now I've decided to come down to yet again another new fish venue to me to fish for a 48-hour session. It's a rarity to fish for a 48-hour. I don't very often get out for that long, so I'm really looking forward to it. I've come down to another new lake, and that is Bishops Bowl Fishery. Now I put it out on my social media about where should I head next, and quite a few of you recommended this venue. Now there's a few lakes on this ticket, and I've managed to get myself booked onto Mitre Lake, which was again the recommendation of most of you and was my first choice. Now I went into the shop to get my ticket, and there were 3 swims available, and yeah, one of them was peg number 14, and that was recommended in the shop because apparently the guy in here, the angler in here, had it off before I arrived, and yeah, he had a good hit of fish. So I've done a lap of the lake anyway, just to look to see if there are any other swims that I fancied the look of. But yeah, part of me was just saying, well, come back in here, because everybody over that I spoke to on the opposite side of the lake also said the same as well. So there's absolutely no pressure. There's been loads of fish out this side. The angler to my left has had a new PB this afternoon as well. So yeah, absolutely no pressure. I've dropped into a warm nest, so let's hope it remains that way and the fish are still out in front of me. Now I can only imagine that they probably came off the face of the island. So you can fish 2 rods out in open water, and then you must have a rod in the margin. So although it is 3 rods, you have to have 2 out fishing and then 1 close in, which I don't mind, because to the right of me I've got a nice sort of reed bed as well. So yeah, that is the plan of attack. I need to get a rod off of there. There's absolutely no way this session I will be using a baiting pole, because that wind is absolutely hacking through as well. But yeah, I think that's enough of an intro, enough of kind of what I'm doing for this session, and I'll whip the camera out as always along the way, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the fish are still here in numbers, and I can stick a few of them on the map for you and show you what this lake has got inside. Well, the rods are finally out. Now, as I mentioned in my intro, you have to fish 2 out in open water and 1 in the margin, so that's exactly what I've done. Now the left-hander and the middle rod have gone out to the island. I spent a good amount of time edging the lead in as far as I kind of wanted to without causing myself any problems. If you can see over on the far margin, there are some trees and sort of bushes and stuff which do come out. You know, without the aid of a bait boat, I can't really you know, slam it up too tight. There's quite a bit of a crosswind as well, so you know, slamming out a solid bag over there, I don't want to go hanging it in the tree really, so I clipped it up to as close as I feel that it needs to be. I was getting a nice drop on the lead and it was going down really clean. If anything, there was just a real amount, small shallow amount of silkweed, but absolutely nothing to worry about fishing with solid bags. That would be 100% presented. So that is the left and the middle rod. I've just kind of dotted them against two open areas between the trees and the sort of bushes on that far bank, just keeping, like I say, keeping away from any danger really. Then my right hander is just kind of gone down in line with the tree on the island, just an underarm really. And then what I've done is put a nice generous spray of Hinders pellets over the top, nut 365, seafood boilies, dumbbells, 15 mils, 12 mils, just a bit of a carpet really of everything that I had in my bucket that had been glugging for absolutely ages. So it's drawn in a load of liquid, so I'm hoping that that will just ooze out when it's down there. And I'd like to say I give it a generous serving, because when I was doing my walk around there's quite a lot of small fish, quite a lot of roach, silvers, that sort of thing. So yeah, as that rod's going to stay out until, you know, tomorrow morning now, it's down there, or unless it obviously gets picked up, then I wanted to make sure that there was quite a bit of bait down there as well to actually you know, warrant it sitting amongst a few free offerings rather than being absolutely demolished by any of the smaller fish. So what I'm going to do as well is get the spod rod clipped up to the same distance over to the island, and I will sort of dot 5-10 spods along the face of the island as well, so that my solid bag can fish amongst it, just because, like I say, I generally don't know how long them solid bags may last, just based on the sheer amount of sort of smaller fish activity that I've seen on my my walk around when I got here. So at the moment the rods are fishing, so I'll give it another couple of hours, and then yeah, I'll freshen them up, I'll stick some bait out. And I do need to tidy up this lot as well. It's a bit of a state down there. Get the bivvy up, and yeah, we'll go into our first night, seeing if we can nick a fish, and then we'll reassess in the morning based on if anything's happened, and work our way into the session really. Well, he said he's not talking, but my little lucky charm is back once again, and look what he's up to, sorting my sorting my mat and water out again, and he managed to net my fish for me as well, thankfully. So yeah, just been having a chin wag for a couple of hours. He's escaped work, thought he'd pop down to see me again, and we have one in the net, absolutely buzzing. I haven't seen anything since I've been here really. I just finished spomming, putting out about, I don't know, 10-12 spoms, pure pellet, and yeah, the rod tip's gone bouncing off on the left hand rod, and we are away. And you've got a nice little mirror resting in the net down there. So let's get him up on the mat, we'll have a little look at him. But yeah, great way to start off. 4 hours into the session and one in the net already. Come on. Well, there we go then, number one, and he has been an absolute pest on the mat, so I have right, well, he's been an absolute pain in the backside. Right, very quickly then, he's been an absolute pest on the mat. He is just not letting me get him up for the camera. Typical little... Well, as you can see, light is fading, and yeah, I've just had some dinner myself. I'm quite hopeful of another bite, to be quite honest. I've seen one show over the middle rod, just off the sort of shorter bush to the right hand side. So yeah, I am quite hopeful of another bite, in all honesty. I definitely think there's one or two about down this end now. It's the first proper show that I've seen since I've been here. So the rods have been freshened up as well. Fresh bags have gone out on those, straight back over to the island. So we're just gonna have to wait and see, really, see what happens through the hours of darkness. Time to chill. It's been a bit of a hectic afternoon, in all honesty. It always is, you know, when you get to a lake and you've got to get everything set up, you want to get the rods out, etc, etc, and then throw that fish in the mix as well. I'm cream crackered, I'm ready for bed, so I'm going to retire to the bivvy down on the bed chair, and yeah, we will hopefully not get a good night's kit, because I'd rather be up and down catching fish. So let's see what happens. Yeah, fingers crossed for a few more.
Right, good morning. A little after 5 AM. Really quiet night. Nothing occurred. Not a single beep. Yeah, a bit of a long night. Quite late into the evening, probably around 11 PM, something like that. There was a drone up, and there was a police helicopter up, spotlight beaming down, because unfortunately there's been someone reported missing local in the area. So yeah, that was pretty full on for a little while until that disappeared and moved off. So I hope that person is found safe and well, in which I then managed to drop off into the land of Nod. But unfortunately wasn't really awoken by any fish activity, which is a shame. So I'm straight on it. Got bags, fresh bags made, gonna get them straight out, get them rewrapped, and straight back over to the island. And I may even just give it a couple of spawns of pellet as well. The wind is still pushing down here. It's a lot cooler today, hence the hoodie. It's quite a bit of cloud cover, so I think it's going to be sort of 21, 22 rather than the sort of upper 20s, pushing 30s today. So much cooler, 10 degrees cooler, and let's hope it just kind of changes the fishing a little bit, doesn't make it as tricky. And we'll see how the day goes. But I'm going to work at it today. Keep refreshing the rods every few hours. Like I say, keep putting a couple of spawns over there, try and make something happen. We'll take it from there. So I'm going to get these rods sorted, get that kettle on, and let's see what happens through the rest of the day. Well, the camera's back out. As I mentioned, I've freshened up the rods, stuck 2 solid bags back out. It didn't go as tight as I wanted, so I wasn't 100% happy in all honesty, but I decided to leave them there anyway, just for the fact that it's still quite early in the morning, didn't want to go causing any extra disturbance, and I'm glad I did, because we got another one in the net, probably about half the size though of my first fish. But you can't choose what picks up your hook bait, but it was nice to hear the alarm sound. I wasn't expecting it at all. Just kind of burst into life. I was just making up a couple of extra solid bags because, like I said, they didn't kind of hit the spot that I really wanted them to. So I was thinking, right, well, I'll give them an hour and a half at least, and then I'll refreshen them up after I've had a coffee. But I ain't even had a chance to do that, so we'll get this little scamp out on the mat. We'll have a quick look at him, and we'll slip him back. We'll get one of those extra bags made up. We'll get it back up there, and hopefully we'll catch one that's 10 pound bigger. But let's have a little look at him. He's a pretty one. Got some real nice scales on him, nice and clean. But I'm hoping for something a little bit bigger. Fingers crossed. Just quickly show you the other side. Proper one toner, must have been on that bag straight away. But yeah, he's a pretty little fish. I'll take it as another bite, just slightly off the island, not as quite as tight as I wanted it, but still nevertheless it allows me to get that rod back out where I wanted it now. So thank you very much. But let's slip it back, get that rod out, and actually get a coffee on. Well, it's gone 8 o'clock now, and I'm going to start thinking about introducing a little bit of bait, kind of regular, maybe every hour, 2 hours, just a few spawns just to keep it ticking over, because the bites that I've had this morning, one a carp and the second one a tench, have come within sort of, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour at the absolute most of the bag going out. So I'm wondering whether, it's about going to be a session about regularity, whether it's recasting the bags or just flicking out a couple of spawns, just to introduce a little bit more bait, small little spawns of bait, and whether that's going to be sort of like the way to go to keep bites coming, just because they've happened quite quickly after recasts this morning. So I'm just knocking up a little bit more spod mix. I thought I'd just kind of show you what it is really in there.
I've got, as you can see, an absolute mixture of everything. So I've got the last of my pellets in there, that's the Hinders pellet mix. I've got crumb boilie, 12mm boilie, dumbbell shaped boilies, seafood, nut 365, a right old sort of carpet mixture there, and that's all crumbed, crushed, old school with the old quarter crusher. I've literally got another bucket that I've had some bait soaking in some seafood glug for absolutely ages. I'm just giving it a little shake, getting the bigger boilies to the top of the mix, literally chucking them in the crusher, and just giving them a light squeeze and crush, really, just to get, like I say, all different shapes and sizes, just to create a bit of a carpet feed. And as you can see, once it's crushed down, you get crumb, you get crushed, you get the edges sort of nicked off the boilies, just to allow all that glug and stuff like that to leak out quicker. And yeah, that's what I'm going to basically do, is just use up the last of this bait and introduce it every sort of couple of hours, really, just a little bit more scent, a little bit more attraction, and just see if I can build something. So there's nothing going to be in there too heavy. I'm going to, like I say, crush and crumb most of it down. A few bigger food particles like the dumbbells and stuff, just because there are, as I mentioned, quite a few silverfish and even the smaller carp. So at least hopefully there's still something down there for bigger brother or sister to come along and snaffle up along with my solid bag. So that's the plan of attack. That's what worked for me so far. That's what I introduced late yesterday evening and got that bite quite quickly. And as I say, I've recast the rod twice and had 2 bites. So it's saying to me that yeah, we need to keep recasting, introducing bait and stuff like that, and fingers crossed we can nick a few more bites along the way. So I'm going to finish this lot, get some breakfast on myself, and hopefully that will set me up for the day of yeah, busy rods and a busy day ahead, fingers crossed. Well, as you can tell, it is absolutely disgustingly hot and has been pretty much for the best part of the day. I am yeah, absolutely roasting. There is just no shade in these swims whatsoever from the minute the sun rises over here all the way around and then just beating into the front of the bivvy there. I'm absolutely roasting. I've sacrificed a pair of old joggers to cut some shorts because yeah, I just need airflow to my body because there is no breeze whatsoever, and the only breeze that is coming down the lake is kind of being sheltered off by those reeds, so I'm not getting any of it. But the guys that were on to my right have left this morning, but some other anglers have turned up to my right. I'm now in peg number 15. The angler has departed. Really nice lad, helped him out with a few bits over the course of his session, and he actually caught himself a PB as well. So yeah, congrats again on that. I know he's going to be looking out for this video when it goes live, hoping that I can stick a few more in front of the camera for you guys and him as well. So I'm going to yeah, poach this swim up with one rod, really. Not long before he left, we saw one smash out over there against the reeds, and from my swim I can just sling one over. I've just had a lead on the marker rod, and it's like 14 wraps of my 10-foot marker rod, so nice, comfortable, easy cast. So I'm going to pop a rod over there for tonight. Got nothing to lose really, and I might as well make the most of that extra bit of water that I've got to play with. I'll probably scatter a good sort of half a kilo, maybe 3/4 of a kilo over it. There are just so many little fish like in and around the margins. Just a solid bag just won't last at all. So I'm going to set myself up now for the night. Today I've just been slinging bags every couple of hours, as I mentioned. just to see if I can make anything happen really. So I'm going to go left-hander over to where I just pointed out then. Middle rod I'm going to stick over to the island where I've had all my bites so far anyway, and then I'm going to keep my right-hander down in the margin and just give that a nice freshen up and a top up. And that's all 3 rods sorted really, one off to the left, one off to the middle, and then one down in the margins. That's all I really can do at the moment. So yeah, let's get these rods sorted, get them wrapped up, get them out for the night. I know I'll be fishing. I've got rigs that are presented. I'll have boilies over them as well, which will slow down and withstand any nuisance species. And then yeah, we can just hopefully soak up the last bit of this sun as it starts to cool off a little bit, get myself some dinner on the go, and keep everything crossed that I can put some extra fish on the mat before I've got to disappear tomorrow afternoon. So as I mentioned, going to be baiting up with boilies over the tops of these rods. So I've put 2 spinner rigs out. Just feel like they've got a bit more longevity going into the night. You know, they're going to be fishing, not having to worry about solid bags getting smashed by, you know, little fish, etc. So yeah, one has gone out to the island, which is the middle rod. So I'm just going to bait up with probably about, I don't know, 1/3 of a kilo. There's about, I don't know, 1/2 kilo there. So I'm going to halve that again, spray that all around the front of the island, and then the one that goes off to the left I'll go into peg 15 and spray a load of boilies around there, and hopefully any fish coming in will just pick 1 or 2 off, and hopefully come across my hook bait as well. So the island is the extreme of the elastic, so I'm just going like 3 or 4 boilies at a time and just pinging them around. Not too worried about where they land, as long as they're in the general zone. As I say, the fish will just come around, pick 1 or 2 off as they're making their way around the island, and that's exactly what I want them to do, and then just come across my hook bait basically. So I will continue doing a few more rounds of these. We'll get the rod out in the next swim. We'll do exactly the same on that one as well. And then we'll sort the margin rod out, bait that up with some 12mm seafoods, and that is all 3 rods then sorted for the night. Now, I kid you not, literally 5 seconds before I cast that rod out, a fish showed itself twice right in the spot where I said, right in the, basically like the little alcove. There's a set of reeds that pops out, and there's a bit of a dip, and then it goes into the big bushy sort of reeds, and one's just gone doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. But obviously an hour or so ago, one nutted itself out anyway, which made me, you know, make the decision of sticking one over there. But yeah, literally, it jumped out 5 seconds. But I was stood there with a rod about to cast, and it's gone doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo. So there's fish over there. So I'm just going to spray, as I did up against the island, some bait over it, get them grubbing around, and hopefully we can nick ourselves a bonus fish. But that is too much to ignore. Again, don't really care where they go. If there's fish down there, I just want them rooting around, picking off baits one by one, and hopefully it comes across my hook bait, the brightest one down there, snaffles it up, and he ends up in my landing net. That's the plan anyway. We'll know by the morning whether it's worked or not. So again, I'm just going to stick a few more rounds of these out, and I've got 1 rod left to get out, which is just the margin rod, and that'll be that. Just gone 9 o'clock, that's me fed, everything's sorted, bit of a tidy up, but I have just had a occurrence on the right hander, which has pulled it out of the clip. It's just more of a jolty sort of up and down on the bobbin, so not quite sure what that was. There has been quite a bit of commotion in the bushes and stuff like that, and there's been quite a bit of sort of small fish activity down in front of the rod tips as well, so it could well have been a you know, small pike or something like that, or maybe some perch chasing some of the fry around, I don't know, but it has pulled out of the clip, so I'm going to quickly redo that one just to be 100% on the safe side. You know, it may well have been something out in the lake, but I think rather than yeah, just leaving it and going into the night not knowing what happened, the fact that it's just an underarm cast, I'll quickly have it in, just check everything over, stick a fresh hook bait on there, and yeah, just underarm it straight back out. So yeah, really calm evening. The water is like glass, you can see literally everything. So yeah, get that rod sorted, get it back out, chill out, and hope that one of these alarms starts singing. I'm feeling quite confident tonight, in all honesty. It feels a little bit different to last night, so let's hope we can make something happen on my final night. But I have got until around 2 PM tomorrow, so yeah, let's get sorting this rod out, kick back on the bed chair, and yeah, let's see what happens through the hours of darkness. Well, good morning. Just after 6:30, I'd got out the bivvy because I've been seeing a number of shows, and the minute I stepped out, I saw another one slosh out right against the island, and I was like, I don't know how I've not had a bite. I've been tossing and turning all night, I've been hearing fish boshing. I'm quite surprised it hadn't gone sooner. So saying that, the right hander in the middle of the night, actually about 4 AM it was, had a series of reeled in, and it was literally a common about the palm of my hand, the size of the palm of my hand, and I just gently unhooked it in the margin and sent it on its way. Not that what I needed. Yeah, my eyes are a bit heavy this morning. Took me ages to drift back off, and then I kind of got back into the bag and was kind of stirring again after an hour. So yeah, a little common at 4 AM. But as I got out of the bag and I see that one slosh right against the island, I was literally about to unzip the front off the brolly to let it air out a bit, and boom, the one over to the island has gone rattling off. And I'm happy because it's a bigger one. It's definitely bigger than 10 pounds. So yeah, can't wait to get him out. I'm just going to dig the scales out the bottom of my bag, and yeah, we'll get him in a sling. We'll have a little weigh. But yeah, well happy with that. Change of tactics, proved worthwhile. Oh yeah, buzzing. So let's get him out and have a little look. I was expecting a decent one, probably about a 20 pounder, but what I wasn't expecting was this 32 pound and ounces to swing round on the scales. Yeah, completely blown away. I knew it was a better fish because it just wasn't doing what the scatty smaller ones was doing, but I literally just guided him to the net like a sack of potatoes. But check this one out. What a great start to the morning. Breakfast is going to taste sweet, but look at that, grab hold of him, there we go, look at that, 32 pounds and ounces. Oh my god, taking off a spinner rig over to the island, catted, as I said last night, about a third of a kilo across the face of the island. It's taken me all night to get my bite, apart from that palm sized common, and this 32 pounder has just slid over my landing net. Oh, I'm so happy. What a way to finish off the session. They've been showing all night. I've been hearing them boshing out all night. They've been really active, unlike the last couple of days, because of all the heat we've had and everything. You know, it's probably just taking them out a bit, taking it out of them a little bit. They're probably not as interested maybe as they usually are. Yeah, I've been sort of all day yesterday just kind of sat there roasting in the sun really with nothing really happening, but it was all worth the wait when this absolute chunk of a mirror carp slid over the net this morning. Just look at the size of that. No idea if it's got a name, anything like that. It's my first time here. I know nothing about the place, and I've slipped myself under a day ticket, 32 pounder. Oh, buzzing, buzzing, buzzing. Just look at him. He weighs an absolute ton. So front heavy. Absolute donkey. Let's get some pictures slipping back. Well, you're never going to believe this, and you can probably tell by the sound. Down in the landing net, I've literally just recast that rod. It went bang on, right exactly. It couldn't have gone any better. Put it down onto the sticks, clipped on the bobbin, went to get a catapult to just stick 5-10 boilies out. Before I could even do that, it's gone rattling off, and we got another one in the net. Yeah, I'll wait all night for one bite, get two straight away. So I'm going to unhook him in the net quickly, get the rod sorted, get it straight back out, and then we'll get him on the mat and have a look. He's a nice little scaly mirror. So, oh, what a hectic morning. Definitely not complaining. The culprit of a quick recast, fresh bait, wrapped it up, banged it out there, first cast, went lovely. I was like, that's got to be a bite. And yeah, I just clipped on the indicator, grabbed the catapult, and this one was rattling off. Probably one of the fastest bites I've ever had, to be fair. And look at him, he's 16 pound in ounces, but proper nice fish. Look at that. Look at that. You know, that's the sort of fish that you'd be expecting colour wise, scales, you know, to be catching the likes of Oxford and stuff, you know. Look at him, proper mint looking fish. Show you the other side, just as pretty. Proper big dark scale in the middle of him on this side, but he is a really nice fish. Look at that. Minter, absolute minter. So get a couple of pictures. Rod's already gone back out. I'd unhooked him in the net, obviously with it being barbless rules, so I unhooked him in the net, wrapped it up, fresh hook bait, stuck it back over there. Make the most of any bite opportunities. So you never know, we could stick one or two more on the total for the scoreboard by the end of the session. But yeah, what a result, what a morning. Well, it's just coming up to 10 o'clock. The madness has calmed down a little bit now. An angler has turned up behind me, so I've had my left hand rod in because that was cutting across, obviously in front of his swim in his water. So I've had that rod in and put it out towards the island with the other rod as well. In the meantime, went to make a coffee. Coffee's gone off. Milk's gone off, so my brain's not functioning without any coffee. So what they do is come down to every swim in the morning and in the evening to find out if anybody wants any breakfast, any dinner, so any sort of food making. So I've got my hands on a couple of coffees because they are more than needed this morning, considering I've been awake since, I don't know, about 4:30, something like that, because of that little pasty common. And then obviously to celebrate my 32 pounder, I've bought myself a bacon, sausage and egg roll because yeah, I'm a fat git. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this down my neck. I'm having a bit of a slow pack down as well as it goes, just sort of drying things off, getting things organised. So I'm not going to be able to get out for another couple of weeks, but I am going to take 10 minutes to get my mouth around this and enjoy every moment and slurp those coffees down, because I feel like that my body just needs to absorb that caffeine, hence why I can't even speak. But yeah, what a hectic morning, loved every minute of it. Let's get stuck into this. And yeah, fingers crossed we can be cheeky and nick one more. From what I just typed a message out to a friend, and I'll just need a 20 pounder really to complete the list. I've had a pasty, I've had a single figure fish, I've had a low double, I've had a 16, straight into the 32, and I've had a tench as well. So yeah, 20 pound would round the list off nicely. So yeah, let's see if we can nick one before I disappear later on. just look at that, 8 quid, massive roll, sausage, bacon and egg, 2 coffees, 8 quid, absolute bargain. But oh yeah, bit of Tommy ketchup as well, that is getting straight down my neck. Well, it's just gone 12 o'clock, a couple of hours left of my session, in which I'm probably going to give it one of those. Everything is pretty much packed down onto the barrow. Rods are upside down on the deck, and yeah, the shows are pretty much slowed up now, in all honesty. The sun has been making a bit of an appearance, but it looks like the cloud has made its way back over, the wind's picked back up, and yeah, it's pretty much died right off. So I think I've made the most of that morning opportunity, stuck 2 extra fish on the mat, and one of them being that 32 pounder, so really happy with that. Not only that, the card has got about 2 minutes worth of outro footage before it's at its max, so I'm going to wrap it up here. As always, thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed what you've watched. I'm not too sure when I'm going to be back out on the bank again, probably a good couple of weeks yet, so I will get this video edited and out to you guys as soon as possible, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. So as always, make sure you come and say hi on any of my social media, make sure you hit that subscribe button. There will be a giveaway coming very soon for finally reaching that 6,000 subscribers, which yeah, I'm really happy to get past. So here's to 7,000, so I need you to hit that subscribe button and help the channel grow. But yeah, from me and Bishops Bowl, thank you for watching. Really enjoyable session. Bit of an early birthday present for me. It's my birthday next week, so I'll take that as a little bit of a, yeah, an early birthday present. Nice 32 pounder to round off the weekend. So I'll leave it there, and I'll catch up with you next time I'm out on the bank.